Minister for Communications Sam George and his urgent statement on the floor of the House ruled out any form of political witch hunt in the closure of the 62 radio stations. According to him, these radio stations have engaged in varied infractions ranging from operating without licenses and some operating with expired licenses.
Group 1, 28 FM radio stations who are currently operating with expired authorizations. Despite the NCA instructing these stations to cease operations in 2024, several of these stations have continued broadcasting unlawfully. These actions constitute a violation of Section 2(4) of the Electronic Communications Act 2008. Group 2, 14 FM stations which were issued notices of revocation for failure to establish operations within the required 2-year period following the grant of their authorizations. These stations later requested technical inspections but have not completed the process and have continued to broadcast. Group 3, 13 FM stations which applied for authorization to continue operating and have been issued provisional authorization but have not settled the provisional authorization fees in full. The last group of stations that we took action on this morning are 7 FM stations who have paid their provisional authorization fees but have not yet received final authorization in fulfillment of the technical and regulatory requirements under Regulation 54 of LI 1911.
He then made the big announcement that the President, John Mahama, has directed that all of these stations be given a 30-day amnesty to correct these infractions.
Mr. Speaker, a few minutes ago, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President, directed that the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation work with the regulator, the NCA, to allow all the affected radio stations some additional time to correct the identified breaches within a defined time frame. Those who fail to do so shall have their authorizations formally revoked under the law. In line with this directive from His Excellency the President, the Ministry and the NCA have granted a further 30-day grace period to all defaulting entities.
The matter then degenerated into a political conversation. The minority leader, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, for instance, dug into the archives of Parliament and pulled out the position of the now communications minister, who was then a ranking member on the communications committee's position on the same issue when it came up under the previous government. He established strongly that some of these stations, for instance, the Wontumi media, have been targeted by government.
Mr. President, clemency is a belated thing. It's because of the public backlash. I would want the NCA and the ministry to be strongly guided by Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution. If yesterday we were allowed on the rooftops that it is not good to suspend or shut down, then today let us maintain the same principle and say that we would rather have an administrative engagement. Why should Asase Radio be denied the opportunity to broadcast? Why? Why will Wontumi be denied opportunity? Why is Wontumi suffering? Why is Wontumi suffering? Why is Wontumi suffering? What has Wontumi done? What at all has Wontumi done?
And as for His Excellency the President, I'm surprised that you will say that he is being magnanimous because of public backlash. When did the suspensions take place? And when did that public backlash occur that I sitting here haven't heard? When did that public backlash occur? The suspension occurred at what time of the day? At 10 a.m. this morning. And the clemency came at 12. Within 2 hours, who could have exercised such public backlash, that His Excellency the President will be magnanimous to the extent that he is being.
The Communications Minister, Sam George, has urged all these radio stations to take advantage of the 30-day amnesty to correct the infractions to prevent a total shutdown after the expiration of the ultimatum. From Parliament House here in Accra, I am James Savage for Joy News.